Hey you guys, how you doing? This is Bobby Davis. I'm the founder of Coder Foundry. I'm here joined with my producer extraordinaire, Kevin Doyle. Hey, Kevin, how you doing?
Good. How are you?
All right, pretty good.
Good. I think your mic's a bit far away.
It is.
I couldn't see it. No, you're fine. Oh, now there you go. Now your golden radio voice is back.
That's it. Yeah, I'm ready to go.
So we're here for another day. Thank you everybody for joining us. We're live on Facebook and YouTube again today. Yesterday worked seamlessly, so we put it back on Facebook again today. So dual streaming again.
Yep, and I'm having a little technical difficulty here. Hold on one second.
What's going on? What you broke?
I can't see you.
Oh, I'm here.
All right.
I'm definitely here. You can hear me though.
You're fine. I just can't see anything.
While you're fixing that, let me just go through some
all right, cool.
Some of the chat here real quick. So Brian, hey Brian, and hey to your mom too. Who always says hey, and we always like to say hey to Brian's mom. I guess Bobby will be back in a second. Thanks for coming on again. You were here super early today. You were here at like 10:35. So that's hours ago. So that's cool. Thanks for being here. Hey Adam. Hey Beth. Hello Missa. Is it just Missa maybe? I don't know. Alfredo, welcome. I like it. Like your little hello world. That's cool. Let's see if Bobby's back here. See me now?
I'm back.
I can't hear you. There you go.
I'm back.
There's a little bit of a delay on you now. Let's see.
All right.
Let's see if it catches up. Oh, there you go. It's caught up. You're good. Let's see. What else do we have here? Glenn's here too. Welcome everybody. Thank you for coming back and joining us again today. Tim's here. Fiona's here. Talal. The whole group's back. So before we talk about anything else, we started a Discord channel yesterday. Somebody suggested it. And I forget who suggested it. Put in chat who suggested it. So I'd already created a Discord channel a little while ago, and we never used it. I created it just as a placeholder, and somebody suggested it. So we pushed it out, and I think almost 50 of you guys joined it. So that's super cool. Thank you very much. This is the link. Yep, that's the link. I'm going to put it in chat too.
We don't have a vanity URL like
we don't have a vanity URL yet.
We're working on it.
We're working on it. I guess you got to boost your channel or something to get a vanity URL. Yeah. So we'll get there at some point. But I put it in chat too, so you can link it there. So if you guys want to communicate with each other outside of right here, right now, when we're live, you can. You can join the Discord server and you guys can chat there.
Yeah, so that's super cool.
And we're still figuring it out. We're still figuring out all the little intricacies of what's going on. So if somebody breaks something or something's terrible in there, just let me know. If you want to see anything in there too, let me know that too.
Yeah, if you want to add stuff, we can.
Yeah, I added a couple of custom emojis. I added a little Fizz Buzz emoji can.
Okay.
And what else did I add? A little Hulk and a little Iron Man thing. We can add custom emojis too. So
okay.
And I did also make Adam, who's here. He's a moderator too. So if you need anything on there, you can ask Adam as well as myself and Bobby on there too.
Adam's a moderator?
Adam is the moderator.
All right. Adam, you've been promoted.
You, me, and Adam. Adam got a promotion. So that's cool.
All right, cool.
So here you go. You can tell they don't understand his Discord because they made the mistake of making him a mod.
I know.
We can pull that back anytime.
Yeah,
it's fine.
I was outvoted.
That's not true.
That's not true. We think you're the best to do it. So really do.
We do, definitely. Yeah.
So Adam's got this today. I thought we would ask this today.
What's he got? Oh, yeah. Okay. We actually saw this right before we came on and probably had a discussion about this. So yeah, hamburger helper. I haven't had it for a long time. I've had it before, but it's been a while.
Right.
Because my wife doesn't eat meat. So for me, it's like I can make it with like tofu or whatever. It's just not as good.
Tofu, Impossible Burger meat.
Yeah, it's just not as good. It's good, but it's not as good.
The hamburger helper is good, but I'm going to try something tonight more because Beth turned me on to this. I had to look this up to see what this was.
We did. We saw this comment. I was like, what is picadillo? I have no idea what that is. And now, as soon as we saw that comment, you jumped on text. you texted your wife and said, "This for dinner this evening, please."
That's what I want for dinner tonight. Picadillo.
That's awesome.
It looked amazing. Like, so Beth, I'm sure you cooked it yourself. I'm sure it was amazing. So leftover picadillo sounds great.
Yeah. So Adam, you got one upped. Like, your hamburger helper's good, but I don't know, this might be better.
Picadillo's like hamburger helper, except it's gourmet.
Okay. It's like Cuban gourmet hamburger helper.
Yeah, exactly. So
Okay.
it's way better.
like it.
It doesn't have I guess pasta in it or those noodles, but I guess you could throw it in there if you wanted to. So Beth, if you have like a super secret recipe, that's let me know. Hit us on DM at Quick Coder Foundry.
There you go. Somebody's surprised. Hold on. Derek says, "Wait, Adam is a mod." Like,
he is a mod.
He is. And why is that surprising? Even I don't get it. Why is that surprising? Even Adam says he's surprised. That's not surprising at all. I think you're a trustworthy fellow.
That's
Adam.
it.
I think that's why.
He may have already kicked Derek if Nightbot doesn't get him first. So.
Right, exactly. I forgot. Nightbot does keep picking on Derek.
He doesn't like Derek.
Wrong things. There you go. So look at Primal Gourmet. It rocks. Whatever that is. So there you go.
Primal Gourmet.
Something to look up.
All right.
Yeah. Man, this is a thing apparently. Fiona's making a vegan one later. I didn't know this was a thing.
Okay.
I need to expand my food world, I guess.
Yeah. Or start a new channel, Picadillo.
Right.
Cooking.
Right.
So.
Yep, definitely. Okay, we did have a couple questions up here too.
Yeah,
before we get into our topic. So our topic today, we're talking about tools and just things that you use as a coder. Some cool things, pretty much. And I'm interested in where you came from too. So I'm going to ask you about that as well. I want to know what the old tools were. So we'll get into that in a little bit because I find that kind of interesting too. Because I think they've come a long way.
Visual Notepad.
Okay. That sounds interesting. So Agni wanted to know, do you need a degree to get into an enterprise business for C#? I'm asking because usually these enterprises hire people with degrees.
They usually do because that's how they're determining if they can do the job or not. But if you don't have a degree and you can't get one, so what do? You got to build a portfolio and show them that you can do the job. So in the US, you don't have to have a degree. In your country, it may be different. They may require them, but I would still say if you can prove you can do the work, you have a chance of getting in.
Yeah, we've definitely seen people here in the US without a degree of any kind end up at an enterprise company, like Microsoft.
Right.
For sure.
All right, cool.
So I thought that was interesting.
So look at this one right here. What's should we answer this one?
Oh, sure.
Do we give our secret away of how we do this awesome live stream?
Nah.
We don't.
I don't want to talk about it. It takes too much work.
Mohammed, what we use is but simple, so it just looks cool.
It is, yeah. There's a few of these things that you can use now. So I saw. I think we were talking about this earlier. I saw a commercial earlier for Google's new meeting platform thing, and it's literally just a bunch of blocks of video on a screen. So it's like Zoom, right? And I've seen a lot of people go live with things like Zoom, and you can use tools like OBS and that kind of stuff too. But we use a tool that allows us basically to do this, where we're both remote, and it makes that part super easy.
Right.
And there's a few that can do that. There's a bunch that can do it. I forget what the big one's called. We don't use the big one. There's one really, really big one that people use. It's not rocket science. It's really not.
It's not. It's pretty easy. So we tried a bunch of them. Wirecast. What was the other?
We did
OBS.
We did OBS as well, which is a free version, which you can do if you're streaming video gaming and stuff, and it's just you. OBS is the way to go. If you just want to do a straight streaming of just you, it's easy. But as soon as you start inviting guests and having extra people on, you need something more. So we ended up settling on a tool called StreamYard. Yeah. And it's a monthly subscription, and it's super easy. And it allows us to get guests in.
Yeah. Real easy. The green room, virtual snacks.
Yep.
whole 9 yards.
all the virtual stacks you can eat.
Yeah, exactly.
Let me see here. What else we got? Here you go. Derek said he would spam laughing emojis. Would he get banned?
He would.
He just likes. Derek
Nightbot.
just likes. He's like testing the limits of Nightbot.
Nightbot is lurking. He's lurking in there. He's waiting for Derek. You know, I'm sure he doesn't get like, "Hey, I see you, Derek."
He knows you're gonna. He knows you're gonna show up. That's what he's gonna. He knows you're showing up every day. He's waiting for you. That's funny. Here's a question for you. How difficult is it to get remote work, or how to get remote work for people who don't live in the US?
So I'm assuming that you want to work remotely for a US company, right? So I would say that as an individual, it could be difficult. But I do know that there's tons and tons of these consulting companies that are outside the US that are, I get like 6-7 pitches a day from outside companies wanting us to pitch, use their offshore developers. So I would say that look locally. That's a consulting company that's working in the U.S. already, and that'd be my end. In lieu of that, how do you get as an individual to get a remote job? You're just gonna have to prove that you can do it and submit requests. Go to Indeed.com and start submitting requests in the U.S. and see if you can get on.
So that's the platform here. I don't know if that's a global platform too, but Indeed.com is the place to go to look for jobs here. And it's funny, we were actually talking about this morning. If you go to Indeed.com today and you look at the common search terms which come up on the first page, remote and work from home are two of the most common search terms on there at the moment.
Right. And then the other thing too is like, if you're going to do it individually, you've got to have a way to, especially if you're outside the US, how to take money. You may have to be insured of some degree. You may have to have like some kind of insurance to put together. You may have to be incorporated so that they can work with you directly. So I think it'd be easier starting out just to hook onto a company, figure all that kind of stuff out for yourself, and then start your own. So
right.
I think so. I think that's how it works.
Okay. What do we got here? We'll do a couple more and then we'll start talking about our topic.
Okay, cool.
I don't know about this. I don't know if you know about shell scripting.
Yeah.
Know the basics of shell scripting. I have written 2 to 3 of them on my own. Do I need to know more of it for a junior web dev position?
I don't think so. I think you need to know more about JavaScript and HTML and CSS. So that's what.
Okay, what is shell scripting?
I think he's talking about like command line stuff like PowerShell.
Oh, okay. Yep.
I think that's how I interpret it.
Yep.
So.
And we tend to try and steer away from that in the bootcamp side of things too, right? A little bit. I think because at the end of the day, it's not when you put something like that, it's hard to become portfolio worthy.
Right. It's not
everything we do exactly
how you show it. So we junior webs are easier to show. So.
Yep.
And he's talking about Bash and stuff like that.
Okay. Yep.
I'm more leaning towards when I think of shell, I'm thinking of PowerShell.
Okay.
With C#, and it's kind of cool. That's what I kind of lean to.
Okay. Auth 17. Awesome. Thanks for the comment and for the question. Started using Django, building an application that I'm honestly hoping grows big. That's awesome. Any tips for scaling? Should I deploy on Kubernetes engine, on GCP or AWS?
So deploy to AWS and make it.
You're not going to have any scaling issues with AWS, right?
Make it go big, then worry about scaling later. So, if it goes big overnight, you may have a problem. But I wouldn't worry about that right now. I'd worry about rolling it out, getting it done, and then getting customers on board. You can scale it later, obviously. Yep.
And something like AWS, we were talking about this yesterday, actually, with streaming in general and how CDNs work with streaming and how seamless the CDNs are for streaming these days. Even with the massive load on the internet at the moment, the CDNs are doing super good, and AWS must be behind a bunch of these, and they're pretty seamless.
Yeah, so we use, for example, we're using StreamYard here, and I'm sure that it's going to an AWS server that's streaming this out. So and that's the reason it's so performant too for us, is that we're not having to take in all the connections inbound to us,
Yep.
and then redistribute it out like you would with Wirecast or OBS.
Yep. Wirecast and OBS give you more
Creative options.
More creative options, more freedom in what
Yeah.
you can do. But they're not as robust. You've got to rely on your own infrastructure, whereas this, you're relying on some of a cloud infrastructure that's just solid.
Yeah, it's just solid and it works. So,
Yep.
like if you look at our earlier streams, we were using Wirecast and you saw us having lip sync problems. We brought a guest in. And so we just weren't set up internally to be able to manage that. So I
Definitely.
think StreamYard solves a lot of issues for us. So
Yep.
hopefully they give us a shout out. Free month.
So this is on topic. Yeah, that'd be nice.
Yeah.
This is on our topic. So this is a good question to start off our topic.
Yeah.
Tell us, what IDE do you recommend for web development?
So there's two types of things that we can talk about here. IDE being an integrated development environment. I'm going to say an IDE that has a debugger.
Okay, so that's your minimum requirement for something.
That's when you say IDE.
That's why Notepad doesn't work, right?
Right, yeah. So I'm looking at Visual Studio for that. If I'm looking for a code editor, that's VS Code. And by far, VS Code is like taking the industry by storm. So it's really cool, the extensions. And yes, you can get debugging inside of VS Code, but like out of the box, it's a code editor where you can manage files. IDEs have a more integrated development environment, which has your built-in debugger, all those kind of things. Yeah, I think that's the best ones to use right now.
Okay, so there are some others too, though, right? There's some others that people use.
Yeah,
I've heard of Sublime. Does that count? Does that count as is that more of a code editor?
Sort of, yeah. That's like
it's like Notepad on steroids.
Yeah,
maybe?
It has line numbers.
Okay, it has Emmet too.
It's
I know
got
that.
colors and stuff like that. Yeah,
it has plugins.
You can do it. You can definitely do it. It's just not got the Git integration and all that kind of stuff. I mean, I could be wrong.
Yep. Yeah,
and I think laughing at my Eclipse reference. I'm showing my age. Yes.
Oh, is Eclipse an older version then?
It must be. I haven't been on it in a while. Eclipse, good times.
Okay.
Yeah, he's not. He's being sarcastic. Yeah.
So, Atom's another one too that I've heard of.
Yeah.
I've not used that one. I've used VS Code and I've used Sublime a long time ago.
Right.
But here you go. Yeah. Anybody have any other suggestions for this level of?
Yeah, you can go Rider. You can go Rider from JetBrains. So Rider has a VS Code Visual Studio competitor. Rider's good too.
Okay.
So we're actually on a project where we had to go get Rider because that's the way they were editing. That's how they're doing it. And then when you're running Rider and Visual Studio in the same code base, it causes problems.
Okay.
So you just we had to go get Rider. So we use it both.
What about Brackets editor? Didn't they relaunch this? Didn't I see a relaunch thing of this?
I'd have to look at that. Like
I don't know. I think it's an Adobe product now. Yeah. I thought I saw it was I could be wrong, but I thought Adobe bought it or something like that, and they relaunched it. I think that was a thing. Well, what's NetBeans?
NetBeans is for Java. So,
okay. Yeah. That's the environment. So that's the Java equivalent of Visual Studio.
Yeah, and I would say that, Brian, you're right. It feels old, and it is old, and it looks old.
So
in my opinion, that's my opinion.
This is a desktop app then, and it has
it's like
is it like those gray windows and that kind of
No, it's not that bad. I mean, but like it just feels kind of bad. I don't know.
Okay.
I always feel like I'm going back in time when I have to get on a Java project and look at that.
Okay. Interesting. What about Vim? I don't know what Vim is. You know what Vim is?
Yeah, it's another line editor. Yeah,
okay. So you use, how do you determine whether you're using VS Code or Visual Studio then for something? Do you make that decision early, and can you switch between them?
Oh, I use them on the same project in the same day and have them both open. So if I'm going to edit JavaScript or HTML, I'm in VS Code.
Okay.
I don't know why. I just feel it just feels more comfortable to me. And then if I'm going to code up C#, I'm definitely in Visual Studio. And so sometimes I find myself like flipping back and forth between the two. And sometimes I'm just in Visual Studio and I'll just stay in there and use that. But like if I'm going to do a tutorial or write out like something simple in JavaScript, HTML, and CSS, I just feel like VS Code starts instantly. Visual Studio doesn't. So like I'll just fire it up.
Okay. Is that to do with like the dependencies and stuff of Visual Studio? Then it just has a background stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But obviously, if I'm doing a Xamarin project like we're working on now, we're in Visual Studio.
Okay.
So I don't try to make VS Code into Visual Studio, which a lot of people do. I'm not trying to do that. I'm not trying to load it up with everything. I'll just use Visual Studio for MVC projects, anything that has back-end coding, C#, I'm going to be in Visual Studio.
Okay, cool. I have one thing to share with you here real quick. Look, hold on.
The guys mentioned IntelliJ, which is another big one. Yeah.
Okay.
Primal
Check
Gourmet.
This. Check
oh
this.
My goodness.
Beth sent us a link. Yeah, look at that. That looks good.
That's what I'm eating tonight.
That's what you're having.
That's guaranteed. That's what I'm going to have.
There you go.
There's fried plantains. I've actually had fried plantains I was in the Dominican, and
yep,
pretty good.
Yeah,
but mine were made mine weren't in a restaurant. Mine were like at someone's house in the Dominican.
Oh, that's legit good.
That's
good. I didn't quite do that. I've had plantains in a little hole in the wall place in Miami.
Yeah,
which
this came right out of this lady's kitchen. So, and we had rice and beans, and I don't know why the rice and beans were so good, but they were good.
Yeah, that's awesome. Youssef likes VS Code too. That's cool.
Yeah, it's taken over. And in fact, we're going to show that one of the bigger enhancements for VS Code that's coming out. It's kind of cool.
Oh yeah, very cool.
If you haven't heard about this in the last couple of weeks,
definitely. So let's talk about another tool real quick. Let's talk about I don't think we pre-talked about it. Let's talk about Git. You use Git, right?
Yeah. So like I'm using GitHub, and actually used here at Coder Foundry is on GitHub, and Cortex, the consulting company, is on Bitbucket. Don't ask me why, but we're using two different things. It has a lot to do with the way they were priced at the time. One had a lot more private repos, one had more publics. And so we moved over to Bitbucket, and then, but Coder Foundry's always been on GitHub because it's easy to share public repos.
But they essentially do the same thing. You're using them for
the same thing? Do the same thing. Yeah, I just think GitHub, in my opinion, GitHub's easier to use because you got to set up some, and then maybe Bitbucket's more secure. I don't like the authentication stuff that's come out there with Atlassian, so like I just like GitHub better. But we use them both.
And as far as GitHub, you're using desktop?
Yeah, I used GitHub desktop. People laugh at me, like the coders laugh.
No, I think that's great.
They laugh at me though.
Because they're using command line, right?
Yeah, exactly.
I've seen some of these guys use this command line thing, and I'm like, man, that's going to take forever to learn. Maybe it's quicker ultimately, but there's a learning curve with it.
Yeah, well, you just got to know it all. And if you, so like, it's all good, man. I mean, like sometimes you have to use command line because you want to set up some scripts to run for like continuous integration or continuous deployment, and you're integrating with something, and you need to run that from that little service needs to run from a command line. So you have to know the Git commands.
Okay,
I get that.
So there are limitations to using the desktop software then.
If you want to do continuous integration, not really. You can still do it off. So Netlify. Netlify is another thing that I use. So like Netlify, I can push to a repo, and then Netlify will read that repo and then deploy it for me.
Okay.
So that's one really simple way to do command line on continuous integration. And we're actually going to be doing that in the bootcamp starting in July as well, showing them how CI works with Netlify so they can get exposed to like how these things kind of work. When you push a commit to a particular branch, these systems can read those branches and deploy and build your code. So hence the reason when you break the build, that's the reason for the t-shirt, because like you have an automated build and then someone makes a commit and it breaks it. So then someone's called in to fix it.
At 3 a.m. in the morning.
Yeah, exactly. So
that's funny.
So like that's kind of.
So it seems like a lot of these guys do use the command line too.
I'm sure they do, man.
Kevin uses the command line. Uses the command line.
For the win.
Brian even called the desktop lame.
Yeah, it is lame. I get it. Yeah. I'm just, Yeah.
That's funny. Adam says feels like a superpower sometimes.
Yeah.
I get it. Yep.
Yeah.
That's
But
interesting.
sometimes I just click the button and hit my commit, add my title, and it's gone.
Yep.
So like it's pretty easy.
You know, if you've got it set up and it's just there and you're only doing a certain few things, that's just the easiest way to do it.
Yeah. So M Asa is asking us about Netlify. See what he's got there.
What do we say here? What do you think about Netlify versus Firebase or Firebase? Sorry,
so Firebase, I think you're talking about the real-time database. So Netlify is like a hosting, and I could be wrong about your question, but Netlify is where I'm pushing things for like superdogevents.codefoundry.com. If you go look at that, that's on Netlify. And it's totally integrated with a Git repo. So as I push things out, it'll automatically deploy. Firebase being a real-time database that pushes transactions back to my app. So, but I use Netlify for a lot of things, and Azure as well.
Netlify is super cool. We've used that a few times. Here you go. Yusef's using Netlify for his portfolio.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, it's kind of cool.
It's great. Yep.
So
here you go. Provides a preview for every branch too. Yeah, we've done a couple of videos where we've deployed stuff to Netlify, and it is super good.
Yeah. So like I've
free at the lowest level.
Yeah, and I've deployed add it up here. I'll just share my screen. I've got this thing right here, my application window. So this right here, this one we did last week, when we did the code along, all of this is in Netlify. So it's kind of cool. So if I pick this, so it's just a Netlify app. And so what this allows me to do in Netlify is like when I push from GitHub desktop, so it'll read the changes and just deploy it automatically for me. And you can see here I can host my vanity URL. I can redirect it from if I have control of my DNS.
Yep. Otherwise, they do assign you one of their Netlify URLs too, don't they? Mm-hmm. We actually have students coming into Coder We have them deploy something to Netlify as part of our admissions. Yeah. Because it's an interesting thing. It's a little technical. It's easy, essentially. Once you've done one, you've done it a few times. But we use that as a test to say, like, hey, you have the sort of the technical chops to be able to go and do this. We have them deploy basically a template.
Right. So they're asking me. I dropped this thing about VS Code.
Oh yeah, he wants to know the announcement you talked about.
So like it's nothing that I'm like hooked in, but like
it's not breaking news.
Yeah, so GitHub has dev spaces now. That's coming out, and it's really VS Code in a browser is what it is. So you can do that. Let me I'll pull it up.
Yeah, that's not it.
Yeah, I'll pull it up in a second here.
There you go. I'll go back to this. Yeah, it's called Code Spaces. If you go to github.com, Code Spaces, that's what it is. It's in beta at the minute, so you can request access if you go to that. There you go. So, oops, let me add you to the stream. There you go.
Yeah, so like what I was going to tell you guys is that this is the way this is going. It says it's full Visual Studio Code without leaving GitHub. It's called Code Spaces. Azure has one as well. This is the same product, just in a different place. So Azure.
They're all owned by Microsoft.
They're all owned by Microsoft. If you didn't know that, GitHub is owned by Microsoft now. So that they're basically giving you Visual Studio Code in a browser. So they've been working on. If you go to try.net, you can look at that, and that's just one of the things they've been working on. And this is just now coming out. I think that's really, 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 really cool. So let's say that let's say you're a full-blown consultant, you're working and you're on vacation in Disney World, because this has never happened to me.
Well, not this year.
Yeah, I know. But like, just say 1 year you're on vacation at Disney World and you get a call and they're like, hey, can you fix this thing, or can you look at this code? Well, before you have to take your whole development laptop with you, you got to make sure your environment's set up. And now you could probably go to the business office center down in the bottom of your hotel without your laptop, log in and fire up your code space and look at that code base and push a fix.
That's awesome.
It's kind of cool. I mean, so like what we're going to show you is these other kind of code playgrounds. We're going to show one of those here real quick. And But what's motivating us is that Code Playgrounds came out, and like CodePly and CodePen, they're like, man, those are really, really cool. And Microsoft says, that's really cool, but wouldn't it be nice if, and then they had a list of the 10,000 things, and that is what this is now. And so Visual Studio Code will be an in-browser experience, which is kind of cool. Will you code for it 24/7? I don't know. We'll have to use it and see. I haven't. I'm gonna get in the early access, and once I do, I will. I'll kind of report back to see what I think. Will it replace Visual Studio and Visual Studio Code? Not instantly, but it could. As these things get faster, it could be kind of cool. We'll see how it is.
Yeah, Justin says, "Hold my beer."
Yeah, exactly. Hold my beer.
That's Microsoft to CodePen.
Yeah, exactly. Hold my beer.
Mr. says, is deploying a website using Amazon S3 instead of Netlify something we should do at least once for our projects?
I think you should know. I think one of the things that we should definitely all know this year is at least at the minimal level, how Amazon, AWS, and Azure works, one of the two. If you can't do both, know how you can deploy code to one of those things. Maybe write a serverless function on each of the platforms. Definitely think that's something that you should play around with so you can be at least familiar with it. I don't think you need to become AWS certified but like you should be familiar with, how do websites get up there? And how do they deploy? How do my database gets deployed up there? Those kind of things. So definitely something you should look at. Try to do it out.
Cool. So before this thing launches now, we talked about Code Playgrounds. And somebody actually mentioned CodePen here too. You said no more CodePen. So I think a lot of people are familiar with CodePen.
Right.
But this does take it's like CodePen plus.
Yeah, exactly. So I think CodePen will still be around. So I think what Microsoft's doing here is they're going to show you how to get a full-on development environment inside of a browser, which is kind of cool. CodePen and CodePly, the one I'm going to show here in a second, are ways to play around. You don't want to fire up a full project. You just want to mess around with something and you want to do it. Those things will probably still have a place where you can get a gist out easily, push something to your website. Hey, here's how you do this in JavaScript, CSS, or whatever. Apply it to your website, share it around instead of sharing a full project. So when you're sharing your full project, you're probably sharing your repo in GitHub. But this is so you can actually code in your repo. It's kind of cool.
Very cool.
So
CodePen's a popular one, but we actually like CodePlay or CodePly. I don't know what it is.
I call it CodePly, but it could be pronounced Play.
It could be CodePlay. I don't know. It could be. I don't know. That doesn't really matter. But this one, the cool thing about this one is it's very similar in the fact that you can go there, you can put in, it's all front end stuff. You do HTML, CSS, JavaScript. But this one allows you to also integrate front-end frameworks.
Yeah, and you can do the other ones too in CodePen, but this just seems easier. So
you can put a CDN in CodePen.
Yeah, you can still do it. And so they have a lot of them, React, Vue now. You look at these. There's a lot of things on here.
Yeah.
But I'm just going to show you how easy this is to do. And so I'm going to go ahead and create a CodePen, a CodePly here. I call it a CodePen, And what I'm going to do is I'm not going to do JavaScript in this one. So I'm going to minimize that. And so I thought that we could go ahead and make something real quick. So what I want to do is I want to put a Bootstrap card in here. So let's say that you're trying to learn Bootstrap and you want to just mess around with it to see how it works. I'm just going to type in my browser here. I'm going to type in Bootstrap cards. I'm going to show you something. It's kind of cool. So I'm going to go to the documentation here, which I think if you're looking at documentation, they have some of the best documentation in the industry, period.
Yeah.
So
their examples are the best.
Yeah.
It just makes it so easy.
Here's the visual. Here's the code. And so I'm going to pull this into my CodePly and I'm just going to paste it in here. Okay. And then also right over here, I can beautify this, which is kind of neat. And also I can do this vertically too. So I can look at it like this if I want to.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so you can change the layout.
Neat. All right, so I can do that. So let's go back to horizontal just in case. And then you got to keep getting rid of this. So I'm going to stretch this out a little bit. Not this one, this one. So we can see kind of our HTML here. And we also get scroll bars in each one. So it's not a full-blown editor per se. There's some things when you're using VS Code, it's not as cool. But let's go ahead and hit the run button. And you can see right away, now I've got this card in here. It's kind of cool. All right. Just
straight away, it pulled in all the Bootstrap styling and everything.
Right. I didn't have to do that. I had to set up the project. It just kind of brought it in for me. It also went ahead and made my HTML, my body tags up here by default. If you look up here on the top. So it's kind of cool.
Oh,
let's just see what else we could do. So now that just to show you that this has all of Bootstrap in here, I'm going to center this card. And by using something called MX Auto, and then I'll just run it. And you'll see it'll move the card. I'm like, man, it's kind of tight around the top. So I'm just going to like empty -5, and that's margin top 5. And so like I'm using the Bootstrap classes right in here. And so I can also give this thing. So we'll just do something that's relevant today. COVID mask. And let's say that I was working on an e-commerce site and I wanted to test out like kind of what my cards or how I was going to represent products are, but I didn't want to go into and like change my Shopify site or whatever. I just want to go here and test it out first.
Yep.
So, so I'm going to create all this right here real quick. And then I'm going to say, want to stay healthy this summer? Something like that, you know?
Want to try. Hence being locked in at home.
Summer and a question mark and say, buy our CDC approved mask. So if you're in the US, that's the Center for Disease Control, you know, our CDC. I'm sure they have something similar in other countries. All right, and then I'm going to put a buy more button on here.
So you're just changing the standard that it just came with and just switching it out.
Yeah. So
switching out the text.
By now. All right, so now this is where you're prototyping or you're playing around or whatever. I hit run, and so that's kind of cool, right? It's kind of neat.
Okay, yeah, there you go. I like it.
So we need an
Your image is broken.
Yeah,
your image is broken.
So let me pull up a browser here and get a hopefully this won't.
And I'm guessing that's just because there is no. I see it. There is no. They don't actually give you a dummy image. They just give you a placeholder for the link.
Well, let's put in our product image here. I'll just grab one here. And we're going to start selling these, Kevin. I think we should do this.
We're in the mask business now.
Yeah, I think we should get in the mask business.
Everybody else is.
Yeah.
I get emails daily from companies. I'm like, you guys are making masks, really?
Yeah, so yeah. So that's our mask.
Oh, I love it. Yeah. Awesome.
So we think, that's coming
That's
back.
my kind of mask.
That's your kind of mask.
That is my kind of mask.
So I think that would work good. So of course you want to know.
I love it.
The cape is not included.
What about the blaster? The blaster thing included too. I want that. Oh, that's awesome. I love it.
So we run it,
Put me down for 2.
Yeah.
This could be the future of masks, by the way. Imagine Disney comes out with a line of masks that are Star Wars based that are actually helmets from Star Wars.
Yeah. It's kind of cool, right?
You could walk around the Disney parks with them.
That'd be awesome.
I'm in.
So to show you some other things that we could do in here, just to show you how this kind of works, is like it also, because I know that this is a body tag, I know that this thing has a body tag in it. I could add some styling in here. So I'm just going to go to one of my other tools that I use quite a bit, UI gradients. And so in UI gradients just gives me gradients. And I typically don't put just standard white on the background. I put some kind of gradient on there. And so Moonlit Asteroid.
Look cool.
It sounds Star Warsy,
That's very Star Warsy.
So I just
it actually looks Mandalorian-ish too.
So I copy this CSS code and I go back over here and I'll just drop this in here, Command B, and beautify it and then just run it. So now we have this cool little card.
Hold on, somebody's found a company name for us.
What's that?
We're Mask Foundry.
Mask Foundry. You would need a foundry if you watch Mandalorian to make these masks. They hammer those suckers out, man. It's got that.
There you go. We are now Mask Foundry
metal.
Hey, don't you guys register that domain? Quick, get on that quick, Bobby. MaskFoundry.com, quick.
So the thing that impressed me about the Mandalorian armor was like it's basically bulletproof, and stormtroopers are not. So it seems like the Empire and all their wealth would have figured out how to duplicate that armor.
Yeah, but they haven't got that. What is it? That steel. What is it called?
Yeah, the Mandalorian steel.
The Berserk steel, or whatever it's called.
Berserker steel. I don't know.
I don't know what it's called. I forget. But yeah, that's special.
Someone tell us what the steel's called.
Yeah, what's the steel called? Begins with a B. I just can't remember what it is.
Seems like Darth Vader would have figured that out, So
I don't know. He's busy chopping off Luke's hand.
So that's CodePly, and these are what we call code playgrounds. And so it allows you to like just test out something real quick, and just kind of mock something up. And then once you're happy, you could probably take this and say, okay, that's kind of cool. I can cut and paste this into my IDE now and like use it for something else.
Exactly. It's a good way to just do one tiny little thing of your project. So if you liked the way that you designed this card here, you could just then go ahead and be, oh, okay, I like that. And then just copy your code over back to VS Code and be like, okay. Yeah. There you go. Mr. got it. Beskar. That's it. Beskar steel.
Yes.
You got it. Adam got it too. That's what it is.
He's going to be right here. So we got to add that to our description.
Yep. Oh, you saying this is Beskar steel? Because now we're going to get into trouble. Because
Beskar steel now.
Can we make it Beskar plastic? Because these are going to get real expensive real quick and real heavy.
Yeah.
I go with Beskar plastic.
Yeah, there you go. 100% Beskar steel. There you go.
I like it. I mean, can I click that buy button?
Yeah, that's it. Click the buy button. Ready to buy.
I like it. But yeah, these things are cool. Like these little code playground things are super cool. They've popped up. Like there's a bunch of them popped up.
Yeah.
These are just a couple that we've used. We use CodePen. We have our students coming in actually use CodePen to create a little to-do app. Because we want the barrier to be low. It's a low entry thing here. You just go to a website. You need no software. It's all up on the web.
Right. And I like the easy use for CodePly to get just to bring in the other framework. So if you want to mock something in Vue or React or whatever you can. If you want to mock something in Bootstrap, obviously that's just what I just did.
And you can do this stuff with CDNs on the other things. It's just you've got to know to do that, and it's more work. And it's a click of a button on this thing. It's
pretty simple. Now, once you get VS Code set up, you can do very similar things in VS Code. Obviously, you've seen me use Emmet and just type the $, and it'll mock out a whole Bootstrap page for you.
That's one thing this doesn't have, isn't it? This doesn't have like Emmet built in. This doesn't have like the predictive typing stuff.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm noticing that too. And then like when I'm used to this, I'm hitting Command S all the time, or Control
to
S
save it.
To save it. You can't do that in here. You just hit run.
There you go. Yusuf said another one, Code Sandbox.
Yeah, I looked at that one too. But I can show there's 1,000 of these things now. And so Microsoft's going to put them all out of business with code spaces. So,
right. It does. It does seem that way. Here's a question for you. Is there a developer plan on Azure, something cheap, $10 to $20 just for testing your projects? Isn't there a free level?
There's a free plan too. Yeah. There's a free plan. There's a free tier. Just make sure you're in the S0 tier if you're rolling out databases. So
I think that's the important thing. I've heard Jason talk about that before. There's 2 free tiers of some kind, and one of them isn't quite free. Right? 2 free tiers where one of them charges you.
Yeah, exactly. Just stay in the complete free tier, and you can like roll stuff out for about a year. So I think there's definitely a way.
CodePly isn't Microsoft that I know of. I don't think they are.
No, I don't think so.
CodePlay.
Code Spaces is their answer.
Yeah.
So, I'll share that.
Yeah,
this
Code
is
Spaces.
Microsoft's answer to this. That add it to the screen.
There we go. I got it.
So you got to get into early access and then sign into your GitHub account. So So I'll go ahead and sign up now. I haven't done it yet.
Get in there. I wonder how long the wait for this is.
I don't know. I'm on the wait list.
But there you go. You are waitlisted. If anybody knows anybody, you could push us to the top. That'd be nice.
Yeah. I've been waitlisted. I have to call Scott and see if I can get on.
Exactly. Just feel like, Scott, hook me up. what did I just see here? Email comes in. Free or fake free?
It's
Yeah,
fake.
that's true. Fake free. There is a fake free level.
Yeah.
This is true. It's same with those credit reporting bureaus.
Yeah.
Fake free. It's like it's free until it's not free.
Yeah. So just watch your bill and that kind of stuff. But there is a free version, and just make sure that when you're promoting code and publishing, you're not inadvertently changing your tier around, which can happen.
Yeah. This is how they fell into the free trap.
Yeah. Oh man. And
yeah,
Azure,
it's a weird thing.
And in Azure's defense, though, what they're trying to do, they're not trying to like host mom and pop websites. They're trying to post enterprise level applications that you're going to pay to host. So that's what it's for. It's not for, so Netlify is a different option if you want to like push something free. Netlify has a lot of free tough stuff for you.
Yep. Wilfredo says always go for free.
Yeah.
Sometimes it is just a little bit hidden because it is like that pay as you go. So as Robbie saying, you have to sign up for pay as you go.
You do. Yeah, you do. And then, if you can get a Microsoft certification, like your MCAT, I think that comes with Azure credits that you can use.
That's interesting.
So you can do that too. That's another way to do it, to get free Azure stuff.
Oh, here you go. Adam said they're also pretty good on refunds if you accidentally get hit with charges. He knows from experience.
Yeah, I know. So like you can just call them and
just reach out to them and and say, hey, I'm just a student. I'm learning this stuff. I got a bunch of hits on my site and I didn't mean to. And
sorry.
And they'll cut you off.
They'll cut you off. Yeah.
Let's look here. Oh, one other thing. Can you show
I want to answer this one right here because I think this guy's like, dare I ask AWS, like I'm going to have a recommendation. So I think you need to use both of them, but I use Azure because I'm in the Microsoft fan club, obviously, but I fully recognize AWS is the largest cloud platform on the market. Azure is growing leaps and bounds over every year. And these two guys are locked dead in on competing against each other. So we do have a client that's having ASP.NET. We do a lot of work for them, and they're moving their stuff to AWS. So our
really
consultants, yeah. So
does AWS have the same integration with Visual Studio then, or how does that part work? Sure. It does. Okay.
Yeah. They're trying to stay super competitive to each other, and so which is good for the market when you have two dominant people trying to keep everyone else fair. So I like having them both. Just that keeps Azure's and AWS costs down because they have to be competitive.
So you go. So Google sucks
pretty much
in the cloud space.
Yeah, it seems weird, but you can try it out. You can do it. Oracle has one too. IBM has one.
And Azure won a big DoD contract too.
So
if you look at the growth of Azure,
and there's this whole big drama about it, Azure was a bad pick for some reason, So
the growth of Azure is huge. If you look at it, it's Microsoft's biggest growing product by a long shot. It is growing faster than AWS. It's not as popular or big as AWS, but its growth rate is quicker than AWS.
It's very huge.
I did see those stats.
Yeah. And, the other thing, too, that's kind of cool, the reason I say look at them is there's capabilities other than just hosting up there. There's cheaper ways to host stuff. But when it comes to like architecting and like throwing up multiple firewalls and all those kind of things, it's all cloud-based, and you have this great UI to be able to like do all those things. They're unparalleled, AWS and Azure. And then as far as like scalability, like the kid was asking in the beginning, you can just infinitely scale this stuff up. It's kind of cool. So it's great.
Yeah, there you go. Beth had a bad time with Google Cloud.
Yeah. To be fair, I'm going to say I've never used it. I really haven't. I have not even, it's like, it's so down my list. I'm not even going to, use it. I know there's two choices.
Right.
So I have to do something different to make me choose something different. And then the capabilities that you want to use don't exist in Google Cloud. So like there's a lot of things that don't exist up there, like that you can do on AWS. Machine learning, all these kind of things are really cool.
Oh, look, today our video, hold on, I'll fix that. Hold on.
Oh, okay.
There you go. There you go.
StreamYard.
It just depends on who joins first. That's all.
Yeah, I joined in because remember in the beginning I had a
because he
problem.
quit and then came back.
So that's it.
Yeah,
cool.
Yeah, we can switch around as much as we like. That's
yeah. Brian's asking, what's my GitHub username? Follow me on Coder Foundry. I'll just put that up here.
Yeah,
that's where everything I'm doing is kind of at. I do have a personal one, but I don't really use it as much.
Yeah, because anything for clients is obviously then you're using it is on their side of stuff anyway. That's not public stuff.
Yeah, it's not even on there. But like you can look at. I share my screen now. I think. Put that on. Can you drop it on?
I can. There we go.
So it's just GitHub/Coder Foundry, and then you'll see some of the stuff that I've built on here are attached to things on our videos. So most of these are attached to videos. And some of these are private that you're seeing, but like I can show just the privates or the public ones. Sorry. So like you'll see, you can go over here. I did a horizontal card, Superdog events, Fizz Buzz Blazer, a Weather Pro site, something called Notary. 0 Hour was a Destiny themed thing.
I like that one.
Some of All Fears is a new cutting challenge, and then it's Fizz Buzz, and then this Marvel API thing, which currently isn't functional. I need to go back and look at it because that stuff's changed since then. So I haven't looked at it. Wow.
Yeah, we did a cool thing with the Marvel API where you pulled in the characters and you could search for like a character and it pulled up a card and their bio and what comics they were in. It was super cool.
Yeah, what I will say about this one is if you want to look at it, if you're curious and you want to put the Marvel API in C# and you're saying, hey, Bobby's thing doesn't work. True. But you won't have to type all of this crap in.
Why doesn't it work then? They changed the API?
I think they did. I haven't looked at it. Someone just told me.
Okay.
So like, this will save you hours of like putting all the API together, and then you can just. This is worth the free price of admission right here. Just grabbing these.
So these are what do you call these? These are the
models.
The models come. Okay, the models come back from
the API. The API interface coming back. So like, and you have to stick those result sets into things. And so I've modeled the entire API, I believe. Okay. Unless that's changed too. So like Marvel could have changed, and that's why it's not working. But, it's kind of.
But it was cool. I remember you could type in like the things, and it pulled back their image, and then a list of like comics they were in, and it was cool.
It's kind of. You can go look at the. There's a video on it.
Yep.
So. And then maybe when someone can fork it, there's been a couple of forks out here. Maybe you can fork it and get it working, give it back to me.
Yeah, that'd be nice.
Because I probably won't get to it. I'm working on some other things right now.
Right. So, what about extensions? Extensions in VS Code.
Yeah, Bootstrap, Beautify, Prettier. Obviously, the server, live server.
Oh, live server's killer. I do like live server. Live server's super good.
So definitely.
I was playing with some others before. Let me look here.
There's a lot of them out there, but that's what I'm doing. So.
Oh, I actually don't have it on this. I have it on this laptop.
I'd have to go to my Windows box to show it, but So VS Code, there's a lot of extensions on there. So just use the ones that you want to use. I got the JS hint, stuff like that.
There was one about the bracket colors was super good too.
Kind of neat.
That allows you to see like
that way. Yeah, if you want to see them like red and red attached together, or you can look at. I like looking at the lines, but I have seen that they've colorized the brackets. It's easier to see it. Yeah,
the colorized thing worked for me, especially because I would sometimes it wouldn't work, and I'd be like, why is it not working? Like I'm missing like a closing div tag or something. And you're like, I can see it visually because it didn't match.
It'll drive you insane trying to find.
Yeah. When you're 15 things nested in, it's like it's so difficult to find. That's what it's called, Yusuf, bracket pair highlighter.
Yeah. And then Adam's got a comment here. He's saying VS Code extension ramp sounds like a nice topic for a Discord channel. It does, Adam. You're a moderator. Get on that.
I think you can create channels, Adam. I think. I don't know. Go ahead and try.
He can He can moderate that discussion, lead it up.
Yeah.
He's
Definitely.
a moderator.
Give it a go. If you can't, let me know, and I'll see if we can change
Yeah.
that. I don't know if you can or not.
Yeah.
I went with whatever the defaults were. So
yeah.
Here you go. Opinions on MacBook Pro. This is a divisive question.
I just did this, man.
For students going into software engineering.
So I'm using a MacBook Pro 2016 or 2020 or whatever it's called. I just got it 2 weeks ago. If you're looking at something for the high-end hardware, they're really cool. I'm running Parallels so that I can run Windows on it as well. And I think that's necessary to run Parallels and Mac OS on it.
Yep. So to start off with, you wanted a laptop, right?
Yes.
You wanted to make sure that it was a laptop, and then so that narrows down your choices.
Yeah. And I wanted one with 32 gigs RAM and an i9. And that limited just about everybody. So then I couldn't get a Surface Book anymore. So, and then I started looking at Livono and MacBook, and then I started a Xamarin project. And so I wanted to build my Xamarin apps on iOS, and that kind of pushed me over the edge to a MacBook Pro. But I'm primarily in Windows a lot still.
Okay. So I'm guessing at these price points that Wade's talking about here, $12.99 and $17.99, probably the new 13-inch one, because I don't think the 16s go that low.
Right.
I don't know what the specs are on that low one. I'm guessing an i5 maybe.
Yeah.
On the $12.99.
But those i5s aren't bad though. I mean, so they are like newer generation chipsets. So I mean, it's kind of deceiving. It's the number of cores that the i9 has, things like that. So like, you know, and if you're running Parallels like I am, then more RAM the better, and the more cores the better, because you're actually pushing cores into your VMs. So
right. So I don't know what the exact specs are on that lower end MacBook, but I'm guessing you'll still be able to run like Visual Studio on that. If it's, let's say it's an i5 with 8 gig of RAM, is that like, is there a what's the lowest?
I don't know. I'm sure.
Like, is that going to be
8 gig is the actual absolute minimum if you're going to run Visual Studio.
Okay, and I'm guessing that's what that comes with.
Any other IDE, I would imagine, is the same kind of problems.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So.
Brian says, it feels so you're using a MacBook mid-2000s, and there's already 2020.
It's okay. Hey, they make one every year, actually, Brian. So.
I don't know what mine is, actually. I have a couple. I think it's a 2015, actually. So that's not that old. I have a couple of different ones. But yeah.
So and this guy, and let's see, he's got a base model. Okay.
There you go. So it is an i5 with 8 gigs. Yeah, that is the base model. That's what I guessed.
And then he was saying, I'm a big fan, but the versatility for buying MacBook Pro, it's honestly the winner here. Yeah, and then if you're doing iOS dev, like I'm doing Xamarin dev, but you build iOS. So you have to have a Mac to build anything in iOS. That's just the way it is. They're locking it up. This is the way it is.
Yep.
You know? So you gotta, if you're going to build an iOS application, then you got to have a MacBook to build it, or some kind of Mac. So like I could get a super high end like Windows laptop, and then I got a Mac Mini for build, and they're all on my desk, and you know, or I could use Mac and Cloud, and you know, there's a lot of things I could have done, but I decided that I'm just going to get it all on one device. It seemed to work pretty well. So, and then converting everything to USB-C is expensive. All my dockets changed, my dock changed, my keyboard changed, everything changed.
Yeah, that's the thing with the newer Macs. Yeah, it's less ports and it's all USB-C. Yeah. I mean, it only has USB-C, doesn't it?
Yeah, 4 USB-C ports. It does have a microphone jack.
Which you're not even using because you're using an XLR microphone. So that wouldn't even matter anyway. You got to use one of those fancy USB ports.
Right.
Oh, so he is upgrading to 16 gig of RAM. So that's cool.
Yeah, I would definitely think that's going to serve you well. Just
because that's the other thing.
They're not upgradable, so they're soldered on. Exactly. Whatever you pick, you're stuck with. You can't add.
That's exactly my point. It's not like laptops used to be. Now they're all whatever you get. They're totally unupgradable, which is sort of a downside, but it is what it is.
Yeah, I think he's asking. So I'm using Parallels. So I'm running Windows 10 Pro on Parallels. And then inside of Parallels, I'm running Visual Studio. and I can build to iOS because it's on the same device. It'll see the Macbook from Xamarin.
Okay, I think that's what Robbie was asking too. Mac and Windows virtual machine or dual boot. Yeah, so
I run parallels because it's on the same, and I can swipe left and right and switch between parallels. With what's called Bootcamp, you have to like reboot into Windows, which has its plus and minus. Number one, you got to reboot, but number two is when you reboot into Windows, you get the full device to Windows, and you're not like dividing up your hardware like you do in a VM. But they don't run side by side at the same time.
But the issue, I'm guessing, with the VM too, it needs to be a more powerful machine to run smooth, right? I
think so. Yeah, you apply RAM to it, so so I have 32 gigs RAM on my MacBook, 16 gigs of RAM in my my parallel.
Right.
So the day I wish I got 64.
The answer to should I get more RAM is always yes. That's funny.
Yes.
So I just ordered a new PC.
Computer, yes. So.
I'm like, how much can I put in it? Like, what's the maximum number?
Yeah, and how much money do you want to spend on your laptop? Like that's the other thing too, is like how much money and RAM.
Yeah. If you spec out, we did this when the Mac Pros came out, right? Remember when they announced the new Mac Pro and we're like, what does it cost to get a fully spec'd out Mac Pro?
And
it puts in like, it was $50,000, but it had gigabytes of RAM. I mean, gigabytes of RAM. I was like, maybe one day.
Yeah, exactly.
Maybe one day. Not to say we didn't order one.
Right. So Derek's a Mac guy. He came from the Bootcamp. So like he says he loves the MacBook. I prefer Bootcamp over Parallels though.
Okay.
I just use .NET Core. Yes, .NET Core is a new thing. It's changing the world. I get it,
Yeah, that's cool. So you don't have to use, so you're not using Windows at all then, Derek? Is that what he's saying here? You can run it just in Mac. Okay, wow.
So you can run so I haven't looked over to see what's available for Xamarin just on the Mac OS. I know they have tooling over there. And I haven't looked in the last year, but like 2 years ago it wasn't the same. It wasn't as good. But that's probably changed now. I mean, it's probably catching up.
Right.
So, but I'm just building on Windows and it sees the Mac, so I can just compile my iOS without even changing. It's cool.
Okay. MSV is asking me if I'm getting messages. I don't know. Maybe not, because I don't know what message you're talking about.
I don't know.
So, I don't know. Maybe. Type it down again. Yeah. I don't know. Maybe I missed something.
Super chat it.
You could do that. That'll definitely push it to the top.
Yeah, push it to the top.
So 2 terabytes of RAM in theory. Take that into.
Yeah.
That's
I love those guys because they keep Intel honest, man. So they can always one up each other, and then we just get as a consumers, we get faster processors.
Yeah. Yeah. Very cool. YouTube's running Parallels too.
Yeah.
Or 2Ube.
Yeah. The 3-finger salute up, swipe up, pick my desktop. It's kind of cool.
Yep. Yeah.
So
let's see here. It's buy a $300 refurb ThinkPad and run FreeBSD.
You can.
I don't know. Too much work for me.
Video run on it.
Too much work for me. So. There you go. Tiki's asking, have you ever thought about making a Udemy course? I feel like Udemy is lacking a good beginner-friendly .NET Core course.
You're probably right about that. Maybe. I don't think we will, though.
It's a massive amount of work.
It's a massive
to do that too. It's a massive undertaking.
Right. And I just, I don't know.
We just have a lot going on.
Yeah. So like we've talked about it a whole lot, and I've actually whiteboarded the entire course, what I would do. But then we looked at it, and it's going to take the way I'd want to do it. And that's the problem with me, is that I want to do it a certain way. I don't want to make a $12 course just so that you guys can pay me $12. That's not really the point. And so it was just massive.
Yep.
And then the more they talked about what can we cut from it, I'm like, I don't know if we can cut anything. So it's just probably more about me than it is about us not making it. It's just I want to make it a certain way, and then look at that certain way. It would take months to build it.
Yeah, one of our things is we never want to give you guys an inferior product
No.
of any kind. That's just not good. That's not what we do.
And if you come and then we're gonna push stuff free on the channel. So like, you know.
Yep.
Look at that super chat. I was just kidding, man.
That's funny. So now I have to show this too. So MSV and best course to learn JS online.
I like, you know who I like, I'm a fan of, is Wes Boss.
Yeah, Wes Boss stuff's good. I also like
he's got some free stuff to start out with, and I don't know him personally. We've never met. Yeah. So Wes, if you're watching this, I think you do a good job of what you're doing. Yeah. And so I think Wes Boss has a lot of stuff out there on JavaScript.
I like the Colt Steel course too. It's a little bit dated, and we talked about this with the camp, the whatever it was called, Yelp Camp.
Yeah.
It's an interesting project, but like I like that course too. There's a reason it's popular. It's getting a little bit older now, and I think he has a newer one. He's partnered with a Bootcamp, I think, to develop a newer one. But his Udemy courses are still pretty good.
Yeah, and there's
and Travesty.
Yeah, he's good. I mean, like he's really good too.
Yeah. He's super good.
So like I think if you stayed with one of those three guys, you're going to be served very well. All those guys are in your hands.
Free Code Camp's interesting. So Free Code Camp, I recently spoke with Bo from Free Code Camp. And their thing's kind of interesting. They take a lot of like user content in and turn it around. So you'll find their most popular course by a long shot is a Python course. It's a video that has like, I don't know, tens of millions of views on it compared to their next one down. And it's obviously free. It's on YouTube. You can go do it there. And they have free courses too. They also have a paid option, I think, as well, or a sponsored option or something you can go do. But the thing is with them, they cover everything. You've got to try and find the good from the bad. It's not all gold in there. So
right. Yeah. So I think, so with Wes Boss, I think they're more versus Free Code Camp. Free Code Camp's awesome. Everything's free. So like that's you get what you. But Wes Boss is taking the approach of like it's a complete course.
Yep.
So
there you go. And yes, the 30 days of JavaScript. Yes, 100%. Love it. Super good stuff.
Yeah, it's good.
Yeah,
I mean, like and that's another reason too, man. Like, we could make a .NET course, but then you gotta think, are we really adding value here? Or so
right.
But I might make something in .NET 5 though. I'm thinking about it, or I might make a Blazor course. I've actually halfway through the content for a Blazor course. So I may do something like that.
Yeah.
That teaches a specific thing, but it necessarily wouldn't be for beginners, just for people how to use Blazor or how to use .NET 5. So not necessarily C# from beginning. So
it's a free course of Lord of the Rings, a marathon. It is.
Especially the extended versions,
Some of their requirements too for videos, by the way, they have I think it's like 2 hours now. Everything they put up is like 2 hours long or more. They want marathons. Some of them are 24-hour videos. Yeah. Like it's kind of crazy.
Like, we only own, like we thought it was cool when we got Lord of the Rings on Blu-ray that we would get the extended versions, and because it's like the most complete. And then every time that we say, "Hey, you want to watch Lord of the Rings?" I'm like, nah, I want to.
I don't have like a week.
I want the shorter one now. I just want the 90-minute version.
That's funny.
Cut out the scenes of them running across the mountains for 10 minutes.
Right.
I've seen it.
But it's visually nice to look at.
It's cool.
It's visually nice to look at. I'm gonna put the Discord thing back up here again. If you guys want to join the Discord channel, we did create one for those of you that weren't here at the beginning. We launched a Discord channel overnight, and Adam's the moderator, so be nice to Adam.
Yeah, if you want to, or he may cut you off. Well, this will be for the road we need to roll out. So I haven't looked into .NET 5 yet. Are there going to be major breaking changes? And yes, major and breaking, yes. But it is what .NET is going to go to, and it's going to change everything from the Microsoft landscape of how stuff works. So I'll be talking about that later as it gets closer. But it's definitely cool, man. It's definitely cool. So it's basically bringing in .NET 4, 5, and .NET Core 3 under one umbrella, Xamarin on one umbrella, Blazor on one umbrella, into one .NET, unified .NET. So, it's kind of cool.
Cool.
All right.
Definitely. I put the Discord channel in the chat too, so you guys can see that down there as well if you want to click it.
All right.
Before we leave, so please join us over there, and you can chat to us.
There, I'll try to get in there and then start contributing. Be on my first Discord channel. I'm not on Discord, believe it or not.
There's 50 something people over there already, so that's cool. That's cool. So you guys can use that. And again, be nice to Adam. He's your mod.
Yeah. He's got the hammer band, you know, so the band hammer.
The band hammer. That's what he's got. Yeah. So, and he's probably not afraid to use it.
All right. All right. Well, like and subscribe our channel if you want us to be back. I'm working on a new thing that we're going to show a portfolio here in a couple of days, and a new tutorial that I'm going to push out in the next couple of days on template lane JavaScript. So that's coming. Awesome. Those won't be live; those will be pre-recorded, but we'll push them on the channel here. And so just like and subscribe. Good luck and keep coding. See you tomorrow, Kevin.
See you tomorrow.
All right.